Okay. All right. I guess we're live. Hello, guys. Welcome to live session of Aussizz Group. This is Provisional. I'm a registered migration agent, and today I have with me Ravina from Education Department. So today we'll be discussing various topics. For example, the occupational list of New South Wales 491 ACT. The good news about New South Wales and ACT is that they have revised their occupational list, especially 491 New South Wales regional, where we had so many clients who were eagerly waiting, especially accountants, and then we had social worker, teachers. So definitely we'll be discussing everything, and Ravina, you'll be taking care of their courses. So if you can just brief about the various courses we'll be discussing and the occupation.
Hi everyone, my name is Ravina. I'm a QEAC registered counselor here based in CBD branch. So we will be discussing about a couple of educational pathways as per the migration updates which are recently have been received. And our migration agent definitely will be advising you or giving you the information relating on those new updates. And the courses that we will be discussing about are related with accountants, because we have seen that the couple of occupations have been added. And we will be talking about social worker, we will be talking about nursing, engineering occupations, and teaching as well. Yeah, so I'll be requesting Prabjot to start with the migration updates.
Thank you, Ravina. So as we all know, regarding 491 visa, New South Wales, I start with New South Wales. So basically, initially they had 3 streams, whereby you had, or we can say that we had 3 options with us. So first stream was that if you guys have lived and worked in a nominated occupation for 1 year, then you're eligible for this one, New South Wales 491. Second stream is that if you have lived and studied for 2 years, in I would say, the course has to be related to the occupation you're choosing. So for example, if I have studied accounting, for example, and I'm an accountant and my visa is about to expire, and I have to go on student visa and I choose to study, for example, let's say MBA. Well, that's not related. So second option is that you have to live and study for 2 years in regional New South Wales, and that study has to be related to the occupation you're choosing. Now, the third stream was that if you're living and working outside regional New South Wales and you still want to target regional New South Wales, it was very easy and definitely was a good option for those who are outside and still wanted to target 491. Well, the easiest thing they had made is that, well, all you had to do is get a job offer. See, if I'm outside, all I had to do is get a job offer in my occupation, good to go. But then, unfortunately, they have closed most of the regions in New South Wales. They have closed this stream. The first stream is closed, so we only have first and second for most of the regions in New South Wales. Yeah. Well, last week on 1st and 7th, which was day before yesterday, many regions have updated the occupation list. And guys, good news is that accountants are back in many regions. Well, accountants, social worker, teachers, they are back, because initially, all we had was nurses, yeah, and then we had engineers and IT. That's it. And we had so many clients, especially accountants. They were like, "When are we going to go back?" And well, many regions, accountants are back. Most of the regions are saying that you have to show, either 1 year of experience of, that you've lived and worked, or you have studied in the New South Wales regional, for 2 years. Now, few regions, they have, updated, and they're saying, well, if you have not lived for 1 year and worked in the region for 1 year, then you might still be eligible if you have moved in region, lived and worked for 3 months as well. Orana is one of those. So guys, you can make a note of this. Orana is one of these regions who have updated, and they said, fine, 3 years, they might be considered, but the priority will be given to those who have 1 year of experience. Mm-hmm. Now, let's go one by one, Ravina. Yeah, let's start with accountants, because we have so many clients, and we have got viewers as well who are accountants. And I personally know so many accountants who were sitting on 100 points and they were just waiting. So what colleges, their fees, and if the course is available in regional New South Wales, and then we can go on to ACT as well.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. We have a couple of options in terms of educational institutions where we can get the students admission in terms of like vocational courses or bachelor courses and master's level programs in NSW regional. We have 3 or 4 institutions which are having those kind of courses. So if we talk about bachelor's or master's of accounting, that the requirements to get admission are standard in most of every institution. They require for bachelor, they will need 6 overall and 6 each in IELTS or PTE. And in terms of academics, they minimum the student has to have a year 12 and they can get the admission in there. And for masters, again, the minimum requirement in terms of academic is a bachelor's degree in any area or any previous background. And in English, they need to have 6.5 bands overall and 6 each. In terms of tuition fees, again, the university tuition fees would vary. The starting tuition fees can be somewhere around $30,000, can go up to $30,000 to $33,000, depending upon the institution where the student would be taking admission. And the good thing is most of the universities do have the scholarships available with them. So that can be a good part for the students to study in a regional area. And moreover, the scholarship criteria would depend upon their previous educational background or the previous academic history. So yeah, but the scholarships are available for the students. So that's a good thing.
That's really good. If we have scholarship, that will definitely be very helpful to our clients and students who are eagerly interested in, want to get admission. Now we can jump on to another course, or maybe we can go to ACT as well, because accountants are open in ACT as well. That's definitely good news, because prior to this, when the regions where the accountants were not open in New South Wales, we were advising and recommending our clients that they can move to ACT. Now, good thing about ACT is it's been many months the accountants are open and their point system works differently. We can discuss that later on. But yes, if in case you are in ACT and your occupation is accountant, we have definitely colleges available there as well for the courses, and Ravina will definitely let you know about those. So what courses do we have, Ravina? As in bachelor's, master's, and colleges as well?
Yeah, so in terms of ACT, we again have a couple of universities there which are offering bachelor's and master of accounting there. And we have, in terms of institution, we have Australian Catholic University there, we have University of Canberra there, Australian National University is also located in Canberra. And the requirements are kind of similar as we discussed before. The requirements are standard for bachelor's. The student has to have year 12 and minimum in academics, and then 6 overall or 6 each in English, either it's IELTS or PT. And same as in master's, they need to have a minimum bachelor's level qualification and 6.5 overall, no less than 6 in their IELTS or PT score to get the admission. The scholarships are also available in ACT as well, but again, the criteria would vary depending upon their previous academic profile or their previous academic history. But yes, they certainly can apply for the scholarships there also, and we do have options in terms of study.
Yeah, perfect. So guys, definitely if you are, in ACT or in New South Wales, we have options. Colleges and universities available. You can get in touch with Ravina regards to that. If you want to know about the fees, if you want to know about the best of the colleges you would like to get admission in, most welcome. We are happy to help you. Now, another occupation we can discuss is social worker, which is which has been added in New South Wales in many regions. I would not say all the regions, but many regions have been added. Or also ACT anyway. It's been many months. It's there. Yeah. No, I would not say months. I would say it's been long that it's there. So yeah, this is one of the good course. First, obviously on long-term list. That means you guys have option for 189, 190, and 491. And if you're trying to target 491, then definitely we have colleges available in New South Wales regional area, as well as we have got colleges in ACT as well. So time and again, we always recommend our clients that in case you know that you can't hit say 95 or 90 points, better that you try to study in regional area, try to focus regional, try to find jobs in regional as well. So yeah, social worker definitely in New South Wales as well as ACT. So Ravina, what colleges are there for our clients?
So if we talk about social work, definitely we do have options, but the entry requirements are a little different comparatively with the other bachelor's or master's courses where the student can get admission easily. But in social work program, we do have to make sure that the student is meeting the criteria for admission, and also where they're getting admission specifically at master's level or bachelor's level. The course has to be accredited from the required assessing authority, which is AASW for the social workers. For bachelor's, the requirement is standard, which is year 12 minimum and 5.5, 6 overall, no less than 5.5 in colleges. But there are universities who are taking courses or admissions for the bachelor's program, but they do need higher score in English, either it's IELTS or PD or any equivalent test score. The student has to have 7 each for bachelor's also. The normal duration for the bachelor would be 4 years. And we do have option with the University of Wollongong, University of Newcastle here in NSW regional. And if we talk about ACT, then we do have that option with the Australian Catholic University. And if we talk about master's program, again, for master's, the criteria is a little different. The student has to have the relevant background, or else if they have 8 cognate units in their previous bachelor's or master's degree, that's when they can get direct entry into the Master of Social Work program. And they need to have 7 each in IELTS or PT to meet the English requirement. But again, if the student does not have the academic background or they don't have any relevant work experience, let's say 1 year of social work experience to meet the entry requirement, then we can help them in getting admission with the pathway program. So that option is also available.
Well, that's good in that case. Like I've mentioned, social work, social worker is definitely available and also on the long-term list. That means you have option for 189, 190, 491, but then guys, again, prefer 491. We've told you the reason first. Could be easy and quicker as well. Like I've always mentioned and recommend this to my clients that 491 as compared to 190 could be easy and quicker. Why? Because first thing first, the regional New South Wales or any region for 491, they say that if you're able to fulfill the criteria of regional state, there is a possibility that as compared to 189, 190, you might get the invitation. You might not even have to sit on 99 points. So that's a good thing about 491. Now 491 sometimes people are a bit reluctant. They like that they want to go. They don't want to go for 491 and they directly want to get PR. Well, this is one of the best features. It's like more or less like PR only. It's just that you're getting the stamp or certified thing of PR after 3 years. You don't have to wait for 5 years. It's basically 5 years visa 491, but then you don't have to wait for 5 years. 3 years completed, nothing much needs to be done. Only 2 things, which is either you get not either. I would say both the thing which is important. That is, you try to get the income. I think the annual income has to be 53,900 at least per year for 3 years, and you have to live, work, study, whatever you have to do in your future, or you want to do in your future. It has to be in regional, like family. That is your if you have partner, kids, they have to be in regional, and that's in 3 years, and you get your PR, which is 191 visa. So yeah, let's move to another occupation which is added. Secondary school teacher. We had early childhood teacher in ACT, but secondary, we have double checked. It has been added in a few of the regions, which is again one of the good occupations. First, again, because it's on long-term list and it's added in the New South Wales Region 491 as well. So yeah, we have colleges available for teaching line as well. And again, Ravina will be taking care of that. And then we'll be taking the questions, if whatever occupations we have discussed, and any other questions related to fees or colleges. And we'll be discussing the occupations as well. So what do we have for teaching?
So for teaching, again, we do have options at bachelor's and master's level both, and we have a couple of institutions in NSW regional as well as in ACT. I would not say that we have a lot of options, because in NSW already we knew that there are only 3-4 institutions available, and they are offering bachelor's and master's level programs. But again, if when it comes to these kind of courses, we always have to make sure that courses are accredited from the assessing authorities and the students are meeting the criteria to get the admission, because the admission criteria is a little different in comparison to other normal courses. So if we talk about bachelors in teaching, there can be two ways to get admission. So it can be Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, that will be straight 4 years, and the student needs to have minimum 6.5 overall, no less than 6, or 6 overall, no less than 6, depending upon the institution where the person would be getting admission. Else, if they don't have that requirement with them in terms of educational pathway or in terms of the English requirement, they can go through a diploma pathway or the certificate pathway, so that they can meet the requirement and then they will get into bachelor's degree later on. And in most of the bachelor level programs, the universities have packaged the programs, let's say Bachelor of Commerce leading to Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Science leading to Bachelor of Teaching. So at undergraduate level, the minimum duration of the program would be 4 to 5 years, depending upon the package or depending upon the course that they're getting into. And the English requirement would remain standard, which is 7.5 overall, 7.7 in reading, writing, and 8.8 in listening, speaking, to get admission into the bachelor's program also. And if we talk about masters, again, for masters, the student has to have a minimum bachelor's level qualification, and they need to complete certain units, which they will, let's say the person is looking admission for secondary teaching, and they have to have they have to choose two areas, teaching areas. If let's say they're going for secondary teaching, they have to choose study areas according to that pathway. If they're going into early childhood education, they have to choose the study areas according to that pathway along with their educational requirement. And in terms of English, again, the universities are after 7.5 overall, no less than 7.7 in reading, writing, and 8.8 in listening, speaking. And the minimum duration of the course would be somewhere around 1.5 years to 2 years, depending upon the institution where the person would be studying that degree from. And in NSW, we have option with the University of Wollongong, and then there is University of New England, Charles Sturt University is also there. And in ACT, again, we have option with Australian Catholic University, University of Canberra. So yeah, options are definitely there, but we have to check or tell the students that the courses are accredited there and this is the requirement. And if they are meeting that requirement, then definitely they can get the admission without any hassle.
Thank you, Ravina. Well, that is there. And then in ACT, when we talk about teaching line, the only occupation currently open is early childhood teacher. So what do we have for early childhood teachers? Now, when we were discussing about requirements and also the English requirements, for the assessment as well, guys, please make sure that for the skill assessment of teachers, you have to have high points and also they only accept IELTS. So make sure that you work hard on your English as well. And yeah, early childhood teacher for ACT, what do we have and what colleges do we have?
Unfortunately, we don't have any option for early childhood masters or bachelors in there. But yeah, we can get you options for secondary teacher or primary teacher.
There. Yeah. Okay. So we hope that they open early, secondary teacher there. But then as and when if we got any options there. Perfect. So early childhood teacher, again, good option. We can move to ACT point system as we have discussed. We can discuss again. Now, hot course, IT, which was always there and it's still there in New South Wales. The main, I would say if I have to compare all the IT occupations, my favorites are computer network system engineer. We have software developer, everything which is there always. And in ACT, both the states are open for all these occupations. And in ACT, they have business analyst. Well, good news for business analysts. Few regions, they have added business analysts in New South Wales 491. So we have many colleges for IT, whether you want to be networking, whether you want to be in software, whether you want to be a development programmer, we have colleges related to those. And we also have the availability, like we are aware of the requirements and the fee structure as well. Ravina, what about the IT? What colleges do we have?
So for IT, again, we have, so all the universities who are available in NSW regional area, they are offering all the IT courses at undergraduate level and postgraduate level, and the requirements for them are standard, which is year 12, 6 overall, 6 each for bachelor's, and 6.5 overall, no less than 6 with a bachelor's degree for master's program. And tuition fees again would vary, starting from, we can say, $28,000 can go up to $33,000 depending upon the institution. And also there are scholarships available. So if you are meeting that academic criteria, you can also get those scholarships as well from the university respectively. And in ACT, again, the requirements are same in terms of entry, if we talk about English or if we talk about academics. And we do have options with the University of Canberra, ANU, and Australian Catholic University.
Perfect. So yeah, guys, with IT, I would like to mention here that, many times we've got so many clients who are not sure about their occupations, because the good thing about IT arena is that you can go for more than one occupation just in one degree itself. Like, always make sure that you try to get your assessment, your degree assessed in more than one occupation to have more options with you. Reason, for example, I'm a software engineer and a security specialist at the same time. And I didn't know that. I thought I'm just a security specialist. But when I look at your transcript, I see, oh no, you have got these subjects which is related to software engineering, and I can get my assessment in that as well. Well, having more than one option definitely is good, because first thing, well, you might not be able to find a job in, let's say, software engineering profession, but you might get a job as a security specialist. Yes. Second, well, maybe one of these occupations is not there in the list. So in case any of these occupations not on the list, well, I can play around and then I can choose another one. I'm still safe. It's not that my occupation is closed. So guys, with regards to this profession, especially IT, contact your agents, contact us. We will be guiding you. Try to get your occupation assessed in more than one occupation if possible. Obviously, you have to have those subjects which are required to be, ABC, profession. So yes, get in touch with your agents or with us so that we can guide you through. Ravina has already spoken about the colleges and the fee structure. Now, what do we have for engineers? Mechanical engineer is definitely there for, in New South Wales 491, because mechanical engineer, I remember, had went on 100 points as well. So definitely good news that it's there on 491 New South Wales list. And we have, colleges available who are offering mechanical engineering. So guys, if you're interested in this particular course, again, on long-term list, that means all three occupations are available, which is 189, 190, and 491. Good thing about engineering arena is that it's not the trade course, it's not IT thingy that where you have to wait to get your assessment. Because what happens in trade course and in IT is that once I complete my education, I have to wait to get either experience. For example, in IT, you have to have either 1 year of experience or professional year. Only then you can get your assessment. Well, engineers, well, you don't have to worry, and accountants as well. You don't have to worry. As soon as you finish your course, you're meeting the eligibility criteria, we can go ahead and launch your, assessment. And here you go. You starting with your PR pathway, skill assessment done. Calculate your points, launch your EY, wait for the invitation. Now, mechanical engineers. What colleges are there for us?
For mechanical engineers, again, we do have options in NSW regional, but we don't really have much choices in ACT for that. But yeah, in terms of academic requirements, it's the same as compared to other
mechanical
courses.
anyway. So you don't have to worry, because currently mechanical engineer is not there on the list. So yeah, we'll discuss New South Wales if we have colleges available and any good options for our clients.
Sure. We do have option with the University of Wollongong, and moreover, they have good amount of scholarships available with them. And secondly, for a bachelor's program, the student needs to have a minimum year 12 with the non-medical background, because the score in mathematics would matter in getting admission in engineering program. They need to have minimum 60 to 65% score individually in that subject. And they would also need to have a good percentage among like 60% to 65%, depending upon the board that they're coming from in terms of their previous educational board. And in terms of masters, the student needs to have relevant bachelor's degree, a previous bachelor's degree in engineering field, and then they can apply for a master's program, whereas the English requirement is standard, which is 6.5 overall, no less than 6. And the tuition fees, if we talk about tuition fees, again, it will be like slightly higher in comparison to other courses because engineering is a little expensive in Australia. So again, we can see the tuition fees with the universities would be starting somewhere around 30 to $33,000, can go up to $35,000, $36,000, depending upon the institution.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, guys, and we have good news for trades. People or clients who were interested in trade courses. Unfortunately, initially when 491 was announced, Ravina, they had removed most of the occupations. I would say the main occupations I could see were IT, engineers, not all engineers though, and nurses, of course. We'll discuss nurses as well. But like I said, the skill list, they have updated the list. They have updated and amended their requirements as well. Guess what, guys? Trade courses, many trade courses have been added. We have cook, we have chef as well. Now, cook is there in New South Wales, in regions, not all regions, I would suggest. If you want to have more discussion and want to know whether you are available, your occupation is available, are you meeting eligibility criteria or no, definitely most welcome. You can contact us, book your consultation. But for now, we'll have a brief discussion for the courses for cook and as well as for chef. ACT will discuss chef because cook currently is not available in ACT. So what do we have for, let's get started with cooks.
So if we talk about cook, the student needs to have minimum certificate 3-level qualification, and the duration of the qualification would be minimum 52 weeks, and that would help them in becoming a cook later on. And moreover, along with the qualification, they would be having 1 year of job ready thing done, and that would help them in getting the assessment definitely. And so we do have options in terms of cook and as like in NSW as well as in ACT. And moreover, we do have options for chef as well, because if you want to become a chef, you need to do a minimum certificate 4-level qualification in commercial cookery. And as a package, it would be 78 weeks. So you would be getting your occupation as a chef after doing that. And we do have options in NSW as well as in ACT. And the requirements are pretty simple for these courses. The student needs to have minimum year 12 and 5.5 overall, no less than 5 in IELTS or PTE. And in some cases, we can help them getting the exemptions as well in terms of English, depending upon which country they are coming from. And about, it also depends upon the current visa status as well. And if the English, like if the colleges can arrange their English placement test, so yeah, we can help them in waiving off that English requirement as well, if in case they are not able to get the required score in their English. So yeah, getting admission is not really tough in trade courses. We can easily help you with getting admission in your desired course at desired location. And the tuition fees again is really affordable. It will vary depending upon the location. It can be more or less with a couple of $1,000s, but yeah, the normal tuition fees is somewhere around $15,000-$16,000, can go somewhere around $18,000-$19,000-$20,000. It all depends upon the region and upon the institution.
Okay, and what do we have for chefs?
For chef, again, we have here, we do have TAFE NSW with the certain regional locations where they are offering certificate 3 and certificate 4 both. And in ACT, again, we have 1 or 2 colleges which are offering certificate 3, 4 along with, which are leading to qualification as a chef. So yeah, we do have options.
See, to be honest, guys, if you are interested in hospitality and you're looking to have your career in cook or chef, or see, I always recommend my clients that you might be interested in doing something, but then when we talk about PR, if that's your goal, you should always see which is better, cook or chef, or any of the occupation, which is better. Well, cook is in short-term list. So if I am at your place, if any of my clients come and he is interested in going for cook, I understand. But then from PR perspective, I would definitely choose chef. First, because that's on a long-term list. Second, even if your points are not good enough, if by any chance you're not getting invitations, states are not inviting you, your occupation is gone, no invitations, like it wasn't there in 491 list initially, they have just added. So it still helps, because if it's a long-term list tomorrow, when at least you have 2 years of experience or 3 years of experience, you definitely have pathway to PR to employer sponsor visas. So that could be one of the plans in case skill visas or skilled migration pathway doesn't help you. So that's the benefit of having your occupational long-term list. So make sure, guys, that you choose your pathway wisely. Again, obviously take guidance from your agent, from us, from admissions department. They'll guide you through everything. Now let's just take a few questions, because while we were discussing, I did see a few questions related to, we already discussed IT. So I do see this question here from Paramjot. He says, what is the possibility for network and system engineer at 90 points in Sydney? Paramjot, thank you so much. Today we are discussing 491 visa, but nevertheless, 90 points. They're good, but not that good in the sense, because last time I remember the cutoff was on 9,500. Most of the occupations went on these, a few on 90 as well. But if you're working, you have right chance. I would say try to target 95 if you're not working, or if you are lacking behind in any of the criteria, which is age, or your English is not you do not have 20 points, or if you have missed on doing PY or whatever reason is, try to touch 95. Else, try if you can try to target 491, which is, again, I can repeat the requirements. There were three streams, but we'll be discussing 2 only because third stream is currently closed. So first, either you live and work in your nominated occupation in regional New South Wales, or you study for 2 years, and that study has to be related to the occupation you're choosing. So, definitely, if you're just talking about 190 or 189, I would suggest to wait and till maybe you are able to gain more points. Okay, so we have Power Bhaskar, 85 points, 190 New South Wales. Power, thank you for your question, but you have not mentioned your occupation. Which occupation are you talking about? And it depends. Again, I always recommend that try to achieve and or maybe hit or touch 95, at least 90, 95. Because see, it's not about the department. It's not, they've never mentioned that you have to be on 100 or you have to be on 95 points. It's just between us, I would say. And we are competing, amongst ourselves. So if she is sitting on 100 points and I'm on 90 points, well, she'll get the invitation and not me. So do whatever you can, as in get the experience, do NATI, do PY, do this thing English as well, so that you are able to touch 5 points. Okay, so we have, let's just discuss nurses. The important, the most popular and very important occupation, which is definitely in demand because of COVID. And many states, they are just focusing on backgrounds or the occupations which are critical, and because of COVID, and definitely nurses has to be there. So this is the topic or the occupation we can never miss. So what do we have for nurses in New South Wales first? She'll discuss about the bachelor's course and the master's course, and maybe just in case if you have an offshore degree and how we can get this assessed here, everything will be discussed. So first, let's get started with New South Wales.
Sure. So for nursing, for Bachelor of Nursing, the student needs to have minimum year 12, and the universities or colleges require 7 overall, 7 each in IELTS or PD or equivalent test score. And you can, with that qualification or that English language test score, you can get admission in the bachelor's program. We have options with University of Wollongong, University of Newcastle, University of New England. Charles Sturt University is also there in the NSW regional areas. So yeah, definitely at bachelor's level, you can get admission with these providers. And for Master of Nursing, we do have options, but again, at master's level, the students needs to be a little extra careful, because if they are going for a master's program, then we need to make sure that the course is approved with AFRA. And only then they would be able to get their skills assessment done later, or probably they would be able to apply for their permanent residency as well. And all of the master's program are not accredited with the Australian universities. There are only very less universities, we can say 8 or 9 institutions around Australia, which are accredited with APRA, whose Master of Nursing program is approved. And they do accept the graduates or the students with the non-background as well. It's not like if we talk about nursing, then specifically at master's level, so in most of the students' mind, it would be somewhere that they might need to have a relevant background, or they need to have certain qualification that can help them in getting admission. It's not the case. Certain universities do accept with non-background as well, so you don't really need to worry about it. The only thing is you need to have 7 each in your IELTS or PTE, and you need to have a minimum bachelor's level qualification with you. Yeah, there are certain universities, we can say, that they look for like 2 prerequisite units, which are in human biology and anatomy. And that also can be done as a non-award unit, or as a foundation unit from the university itself, where we are applying for, or from a different provider to meet that requirement. So that is again not a big issue. We can like help you in sorting out that problem as well. And if we talk about the tuition fees, again, it would be on a little expensive side, because it will be with the universities like University of Sydney, CDU, or other universities in other regions like University of Adelaide, and the tuition fees would be starting $30,000 to $33,000, can go up to $40,000 plus, depending upon the region where the student is studying from. But yeah, the options are available. And in ACT, again, we have options with the Australian Catholic University. We have option with the University of Canberra. ENU is also there. And the requirements are pretty much same for the bachelor's program. At master's level, unfortunately, we don't have any accredited provider there. So for Master of Nursing, we don't really have any option in ACT. But yeah, if let's say, for example, if somebody has already a registered nurse from overseas, and they have a bachelor's level qualification registration done from overseas itself, they also can go, either they can go for a Bachelor of Graduate Entry to get Australian registration, or they can straight away go for Master of Nursing program accredited provider. Else they can go through a pathway, they can get the referral letter from ACRA, which obviously a migration agent can help them in getting that done. And then they can go for OBA program, which is outcome based assessment. And yeah, after doing that, they can get the registration straight away.
That's good. Okay, so guys, we have a brief idea regarding what needs to be done, how we can get the admission, what are the fee structures, what colleges are available. If you need more information, sometimes ABC college might suit me, the other one doesn't. So we have many options available for you. So get in touch with us regarding these, and especially nurses, like I said, highly in demand. IT nurses highly in demand, guys. So go for it, and you can touch base with us. Our team, with Ravina and her team, they'll be helping you with everything and all the information regarding colleges, their fees, the intake, the dates when the courses are starting. Let's just take a few questions. I do see a question from Kapil Shivnani. Hi, Kapil. He says he's an engineering professional MEC, currently on 85 points, and he's got 2 years local experience. I have 2 years experience in New South Wales. Kapil, thank you for a question. Good thing is that your occupation is there on the list for 491, especially Hunter. It is available for engineering professional NEC. Now, point here is when we talk about 491, Kapil, we need to have 1 year of experience in regional. So you live and work in your nominated occupation for 1 year, then you could qualify for 491. In case you're looking for 190 and 189, then in that case, 85 points might not be good enough. I would suggest and recommend that you work on your points and try to gain more points. Else, like I was mentioning before, if you have got 2 years of experience, if you've got the skills assessed as well, try employer sponsor visa. If you have an employer who is convinced with your skills and he would like to sponsor you, and he wants you to be there with you and working with you, and he can sponsor because you've got 2 years of experience, go for it. If points doesn't help, as I was mentioning before as well, if points doesn't help, state doesn't help, go for employer sponsor visa. 85 points, well, you'll have to wait if you're not targeting 491. So try to target 491 if possible. I would not suggest you to leave your job if you're not in regional. Continue working wherever you're working, but at the same time, look for the jobs. You might be lucky and get very good job offer in regional area, right? Because they do need the engineers, the IT and nurses. That is why they have updated the list, because they do need these professions there in regional area. They want to develop regional areas. So Kapil, I hope I have answered your question. Then we have question from Vishal. He says, I have done Masters in Business Information System and have done skill assessment after PY. I am on 90 points right now, but don't have the work in the field and don't seem to like to get in future. What should I do? I have 18 months of TR left. Move to Tasmania or study something in New South Wales regional to get 499. Okay, Vishal, 90 points. Because see, maximum in 1 year. The day you finish your study and you get started with the things, PY, trying to get experience, the person in 1 year can touch 90. That's the maximum. Not unless if you studied in regional, then that is when you can touch 100. Or if you're lucky and you have started working and you've got 3 years of experience or offshore experience. So maximum is 95. So 90, that means you have mentioned that you're lacking and you can't find the job. Well, preference definitely are to those who are working, even if they have not completed 1 year. They are targeting those people who are working in their field. So if you're left with 18 months, well, if you're business, you've done masters in business information system, you have not mentioned your occupation here in what occupation you've got your assessment. Like I was mentioning before as well, Ravina, try to get your degree assessed in more than one occupation. Maybe if you're not, for example, let's say you're a business analyst. I'm not too sure what occupation you are under. For example, you're a business analyst and you're trying to find a job in business analyst. What if you try to get your occupation assessed and you turn out to be a software engineer as well and you find a job there? So try different ways. Try different options. If not this, maybe that could help. So you come to us, we'll discuss, we'll show you the right pathway. Like I said, employer sponsor visa, skill visas, we're happy to help you. Vishal, I hope I've answered your question. Regional New South Wales, the question you have is, see, good if you want to study. There's no harm in studying just in case anything doesn't help. Well, if you would like to study, yes, study in regional New South Wales for 2 years, which is what the current requirement is. And make sure that you study in a course which has a pathway, because there is no, I mean, if you choose to study diploma in, leadership management, it doesn't really help you. So make your investment of your time and your money in something which has a pathway. And also, because for example, if I study master's in nursing 2 years, well, that has a pathway, and I've studied the occupation which is related to my occupation, which is tomorrow going to be nursing. Okay. Tasmania, we are discussing only 9 New South Wales and ACT today, Vishal, but then see, no state is bad as long as you are able to meet the criteria and as long as you're sitting on good points. Yeah. And so, okay, so what do we have? Business analyst, Vishal, I've also already answered your questions. Okay, so we have a question from Karthik. He says, just one question. I've lived for more than 1 year and worked in regional area. Does it have to be continuous 12 months? I mean, immediate 12 months prior from now. So yeah, they have mentioned there's a loophole as well. They have not mentioned that you had worked, 10 years ago. So yeah, but then at the same time, it does say that you have to be living and working prior to lodging of your New South Wales, in New South Wales 491 in stream 1. So if I had lived, it won't really help. But yeah, in stream 2, they have said that if you've lived and studied, and even if you've left New South Wales, but you had studied for 2 years, definitely helpful. But New South Wales wants to see that you're living and working prior to lodging of your New South Wales 491 under stream 1 visa. Syed Ali Tehseen, he is asking software engineer RDA Sydney. Well, I didn't really get your question, Syed. If you're asking whether software engineer is added and is there, yes, definitely software engineers are there. It was always there. It's there in New South Wales, it's there in ACT, so very good option, a very good occupation. And we have already discussed about IT occupation. If you want to know further about it, maybe for admissions, or if you are already qualified software engineers, definitely good pathway, definitely good occupations to go for. Okay, Deepak Verma is asking, what about Victoria 491 ship? Deepak, we can discuss ACT and New South Wales. We have discussed shifts. If you would like to know about Victoria, we would request you to book your consultation so that we can discuss everything in detail. And then we can take the questions later, and maybe we can quickly discuss civil engineers as well.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So civil engineers, yes, definitely good occupation, and it's there in ACT and definitely in New South Wales as well. On long-term list, always available for 189, 190, 491. That means again, as I've mentioned before, we need to see what regions, what are the requirements, and also with regards to the admission, if you are willing to take this pathway and want to be civil engineer or want to get your PR under this occupation, you have to study, get the experience, and also get your occupation assessed. And so, what colleges do we have in New South Wales and in HQ?
So in terms of civil engineering, we have bachelor's and master's both available in NSW regional. We have universities, as we discussed before. We have Wollongong University, we have University of Newcastle, UNE is also there. So you're definitely in NSW, the options are available, and the entry requirements, again, it's the same as we discussed before for engineering courses. And the student has to have the standard English requirement and the minimum qualification in terms of year 12 and bachelor's where required, depending upon their course the student that is applying for. In ACT, probably we will not be having that specialization available with the institutions there, but yeah, they can try for other specializations which are available in engineering. And yeah, definitely they can get admission in other engineering specialization courses in ACT. Yeah, but the requirements are same again and in terms of entry requirements.
Okay, so we'll take a few questions from our YouTube channel as well, because we are live in through YouTube as well. So let's just take a few questions from YouTube. We have viewers waiting there. So we have question from Mayur. So Mayur is asking, is there any chances for offshore applicants? Mayur, unfortunately, because of COVID, the borders are not open and they are not accepting any offshore candidates. Well, still, depending on what occupation you're going for, there might be exceptional cases. We had launched few offshore, visas as well, and we are waiting. But then there were few we heard, they have been granted. So let us know your occupation. Well, offshore applicant, that your question is quite wide. I would like to know whether are you talking about education pathway, or are you talking about the skill migration visa? So if you can please elaborate on your question. Okay, so we have question from Santosh Pawar. Santosh says, hi, so visa 189, he is lodged on 9095 for 190, 105 for 491. He lodged in December and he is developer programmer. What are the chances for 190 and 491? Currently seeking advice for 482 and 186. Santosh, happy to help you if you want to discuss your scenario in details. But I can brief you regarding 482 and 186, a very brief discussion, because we are just discussing New South Wales and ACT, and that too 491 visas. For 482, you have to have 2 years full-time experience in your occupation, then any employer can sponsor you. For 186, you have to have 3 years of full-time experience, then any employer can sponsor you. So make sure you have experience, and if you want to discuss further, what are the requirements, what are the steps, are there, and if your employer is happy, we can definitely help you launching 482 and or 186 visa. With regards to your current situation, which is that you've lost your EOI on 95 and 90 points. Well, good points. Developer programmer definitely highly in demand, and I would say that have some patience and wait. I'm pretty sure that you'll get it. But if you're trying to target 491, 2 streams, as I've already mentioned, which is either you show 1 year of experience in your nominated occupation in New South Wales regional area, or you study in regional area for 2 years. That is when you have the, as per current scenario, you have the possibility to get 491 visa. The third stream, which was just that if you're living and working outside and all you need is job of from regional resources, which is closed currently. So yeah, unfortunately, you have to move in regional area to be eligible for 491. This is current scenario. Well, we don't know if they're going to be making any further changes, than they have more in their I would say bucket, and they have any new surprises for us. So yeah. Okay. Ravina, do we have any other trade courses available or the colleges available for the trade courses? Because I do see that there are so many trade courses which are open in New South Wales region, and then we have in ACT as well. What other colleges or the courses you think we can discuss?
Definitely, we have options for trade courses like carpentry, painting, other trade courses like wall floor tiling, etc. But unfortunately, we don't really have much options in NSW regional or in ACT because the providers are very limited and they don't really have much, varieties in terms of trades availability with them. Students can get automotive, students can get options for a chef or cook both. But yeah, in terms of other trade courses, we don't have.
Okay. Well, yeah, we had discussion about the social worker.
Yes.
Do we have something for community worker as well?
Yeah, we have options in terms of diploma of community services there, but again, the courses are not accredited there. So yeah, if the student will be studying from a non-accredited provider, then they might have to have additional requirement in terms of work experience, and you are the best person who can answer that question.
Well, yes, see, yeah, whenever we are, discussing about the courses or occupations, guys, bottom line is try to go for a course or try to choose the occupation which is there on the long-term list. If I have to compare social worker and community worker, I would go for social worker. Reason being, it's on long-term list and many options available as compared to community worker. Although the community worker is just at diploma level, I don't have to be at bachelor's level. So that's the only difference, or I would say that's the only good thing about community worker. But then, as compared to social worker, I would go for social worker. Again, when I compare registered nurse to enrolled nurse, I would definitely go for registered nurse because first, again, on long-term list, and many options available as compared to enrolled nurse. Enrolled nurse is on short-term list. That means it's just for 190 and 491. But at the same time, not many options available, even though it says 190 and 491. But then again, we have to look into the state list as well. State might not be open for you. Maybe, for example, ACT is not accepting enrolled nurses. So this is the thing. So I think it's time, and we have covered almost everything and 491 in New South Wales and ACT, and discussed many of the occupations, the eagerly weighted occupations are accountants and social worker and teachers, which has been added, and trade courses, which has been added to New South Wales, and ACT was definitely there. There's so many occupations in ACT. I do see. I mean, there are not many people there. Gardener and all those occupations are there, which is good if any of you are working on under those occupations. So again, guys, it's time. We have discussed everything. Ravina has given you all the information regarding your courses, the colleges, intakes, and fees as well. I'll brief you again in case you have missed this session or you're not watching us from the beginning. So 491, guys, take a note that make sure you try to target 491. It's good for you. Reason being, in case you're sitting on 85, 90 points and you're not getting invitations. I did see today there's so many clients who were, writing to us that they're sitting on points and they're just waiting. If possible, try to target 491. And if you've got experience, see if you can go for employer sponsor visa. 491, 3 streams were there, but currently only 2 streams are open, which is either you show us, as a New South Wales says, that either you show them, 1 year of experience. That is, you have to live and work. So you are living and working in your occupation for 1 year. Second, that you've lived and studied for 2 years in regional New South Wales, and that study has to be related to the occupation of choosing. So currently, these 2 streams for New South Wales 491. In ACT, if I talk about 491, the only requirement, I would not say the only, but the basic requirement is that if you've lived and worked there for 3 months, you're good to go. But then their point system is different. And as in they work differently as compared to other states. They give you points of living there. They give you points of having your occupation open. If you're working in occupation, you get points on top of that. So ACT is one of my favorite states, to be honest, because you just get points of living there. So yeah, guys, like I said, if you've got your occupation assessment done and you're waiting, discuss with us. We are happy to help you and guide you through so that you can achieve your goal, and we can help you, and would be really happy that you get your PR soon.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions and if you would like to book your session with admissions team, that is with Ravina, or with regards to migrations, if you have any questions, you can book your consultation with myself. My name is Prabjot Kaur. I'm a registered migration agent. Thank you so much for your time today. And this is Ravina.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your time and watching us.